So the night before Nintendo's E3 event, I didn't really get much sleep. I stay awake till extremely late every night, till about the time the sun comes up, and Nintendo's event was in the morning, so I set my alarm for 10 minutes before the event so I'd have at least a few minutes for my brain to be fully conscious so I could pay full attention to it. I was sacrificing sleep because I couldn't wait to see what Nintendo had to reveal. I had a feeling Nintendo really had something up their sleeve this time. I mean, the Wii U is finally starting to pick up some speed, and they've announced some pretty cool, interesting titles recently. So here I was thinking this was their chance to really hit it out of the park, blow everyone's minds, and guess what happened? Nothing. Literally nothing happened. Almost every title they covered in the event were games we've already heard about. Among the new titles were 2 Animal Crossing spin-offs that no one really cared about because they aren't a main Animal Crossing game, a 3DS Hyrule Warriors port, which we already knew about, a spin-off Zelda title based on 4 Swords using the Link Between Worlds engine, a new Mario Tennis, some Skylanders bullshit, and a Metroid Prime spin-off game that made people leap off of balconies in protest. The only thing remotely exciting that was announced was a Mario and Luigi Paper Mario crossover game, which I'm actually excited about, and not because it's a crossover, but just because people have been angry for years over the lack of a true Paper Mario RPG adventure. But that's it. 5 of those games are 3DS games. The things announced for the Wii U were Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, Mario Tennis, and fucking Skylanders. Why the fuck do I have a Wii U? I'm not even gonna go into how stupid it was for Nintendo to announce a Metroid spin-off when we haven't seen a Metroid game in 5 years and everyone hated the last one. That's an issue in and of itself. I'm sure the game will be fun, but that's like not announcing a Zelda game for 5 years and then announcing Zelda Farming Simulator. Anyway, they spent about 50% of the whole event talking about Mario Maker. They would not stop talking about Mario Maker. Look, I'm sure Mario Maker will be fun, but at this point, we've seen so much of this game since it was first announced. Even the Nintendo World Championships had a huge portion devoted to it. We understand what it is. Instead, they wasted most of the event talking about it. That was their biggest release. They spent more time talking about Mario Maker than fucking Star Fox. Now, I've seen quite a few people trying to defend Nintendo, but seriously, how can their biggest game of E3 and the game they're pushing more than any other on their current gen platform be a level creator for games that came out over 20 years ago? This is insane to me. I've had a Wii U since launch, and trust me, I've spent countless hours on it. I love it, and they have released great games for it. But when I bought it, I invested that money in this console under the assumption that I'd be getting those blockbuster Nintendo first-party titles. Now we're 2.5 years into the console's life, and we don't even have a 3D Mario game that's the same caliber as something like Galaxy or Sunshine. And I know we're getting a Zelda game eventually, but the consoles before this already had a brand new Zelda adventure by now. Every console before this one, with the exception of the Super Nintendo, had 2 brand new Zelda adventures during its lifespan. I tried arguing this yesterday with a few friends, and they told me the Wii U has Wind Waker. And while Wind Waker is a great game, it's also a 12-year-old game. A remaster of a game from 2 generations ago doesn't count as a big Zelda release. I have yet to have a new definitive single-player experience on my Wii U, and that bothers me. That's the reason I bought a Wii U in the first place. Of course I want to play Smash and Mario Party and Mario Kart, but when I buy a Nintendo console, I'm expecting to have that first-party Nintendo single-player experience, and so far, I haven't. Some defend Nintendo's E3 event saying that they announce games all year long during directs, and that's why their event seemed disappointing. But if that's the case, save something for E3! E3 is when people are expecting to see big announcements. When you show up empty-handed, it leaves a really bad taste in people's mouths, and spin-off titles of franchises that people want to see fully fledged games of doesn't fucking count. I woke up with the full belief that they would reveal something big, and instead they shoved Super Mario Craft down my fucking throat. And don't forget, more goddamn amiibos. I am always the person to defend Nintendo, but this time I'm just so let down and disappointed that I can't really justify trying to defend them, at least not now. Nintendo is like a divorced dad who always just lets you down. He says, "Next week, buddy, you and I are totally going to the zoo," but he never takes you to the zoo. And yet you keep holding out hope that someday he'll deliver. But hey, they sure are making me feel secure about my $350 purchase by telling me they'll be revealing their new console soon. Thanks, Nintendo.